Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, August 12th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right here will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, we are looking at OPEN. Very, very nice start to the week. Talked about this one last week and how, the purple line there, which is the 50-period moving average, was that key area to watch from a resistance standpoint. And you can see this candle right here opening 30 minutes of the day. And given it's Monday of the week, price came up there, broke up through it very nicely. And then since then has pretty much been cruising higher and higher all day long. Yeah, right now there is a little bit of a miniature pullback, but within the grand scheme of things, even if you bought right there, that pullback there, I still wouldn't say is anything too severe. But anyway, look at it. Very, very nice start to the week. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines here as they serve their purpose for now. And moving forward on the week, a couple ways you could do it. You can just use this trend line right here in terms of how do you gauge the overall health. So let's change that to green. And you can keep a close eye on that. Or if you want to not worry about the trend line or anything like that, just watch that purple line there. Now that the price is above it, you want to see the price stay above it and give that, that is a moving average, keyword there being moving. That line will move itself higher and higher. And eventually it'll become a trend line that basically draws itself for you. Or you can use both. But either way, like I said, just to gauge the health of the current start right now of the week as the week continues to play out. Just like I said, use that trend line or the moving average, and as long as the price does remain above those areas, then that does imply that the price is still building those higher bases. In terms of areas of resistance right now, all eyes on this pink line right here, the 200-period moving average. So not shocking to see the price currently getting stuck up around that area, but that'll be the main battleground to watch moving forward, right there around $2.30. But anyway, look at it. Very, very impressive way to start off the week. Next one, WLGS, and we have ourselves a nice pattern here. So let's get this pattern drawn into play. And this is something where, I'm not trying to impress you or imply that this is some sort of great discovery on my part. I think a lot of people have noticed this pattern. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same pattern and wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can produce some very dynamic movement. So we'll change that to green for support. And then just to make sure everybody sees the pattern, let's keep it the same color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the nice upwards move right there. For you golfers, try to make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here, and this would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because something's bullish does not mean for sure, guaranteed, the price is going to go upwards. But is it valid to think that if the price does something like this and then eventually breaks through there, that break right there could create additional buying pressure? Absolutely. Again, guaranteed to happen. It is not, but is it a valid suggestion to throw out there? Absolutely. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull pennant patterns, keep an eye on it. Next one here, SOUN. And speaking of bull pennants, we had this bull pennant that going into today. So I drew this on the, in the video from Friday. So really quickly, so there is the bull pennant pattern. And then today you can see opening 30 minutes, the price came up here, broke to the bull pennant, and then very, very nice upwards move. And it's actually formed now another bull pennant. Now, let me be very clear. Again, I'm not saying every bull pennant behaves this way, but that is why a bull pennant can be a very powerful pattern. So let's just get rid of those as they've served their purpose. And then from here on out, I'm going to go through quicker because you've already heard me talk about the bull pennant. So we have the top part of the pennant right there. We have the bottom part of it right there. So actually a pretty unique one given how tight this range got after just the absolute explosion. But nonetheless, it is still a bull pennant. So again, resistance, support. Nice upwards move right here, golf hole down here. So one of those things where if you're getting bull pennant after bull pennant after bull pennant, that is a good thing because that implies that there's higher highs being put in and higher lows, and that's what that's the name of the game when it comes to building uptrends. Next one here, TLRY, and not a whole lot to say right now because yes, right at this moment it is basically straight up. Now from just a trading standpoint, all the ingredients are there. And from a trading standpoint, we need volume. And you can see down here, volume very, very solid. In fact, volume this afternoon, even more solid. And now also as a trader, not only do you need volume, you need movement. And yeah, this thing is showing that it can move and it can move quite a bit. So just from that angle alone, I would say that if you like penny stocks, that would be enough data for you to at least put on the watch list and see what happens. Because we still don't know what happens, but let's say there is some sort of pullback. So the price pulls back, forms some kind of channel like that. Well, what would that give you? That would give you an overall bull flag pattern or bull pennant. Again, I'm not saying a bull flag or a bull pennant is going to form. I'm just saying that in this situation, if you were to get some sort of pullback, then you could be looking at some sort of pattern like that. But at the end of the day, those core dynamics are there. You're getting great volume, you're getting good quality movement. So now it's just a question of kind of observing and seeing if any sort of type of setup occurs for you. But as penny stock traders, those are definitely going to be the two key ingredients. Next one here, BMNR. And again, you've already heard me talk about this, so I'm going to go through it quicker as I want to try to respect your time as much as possible. So definitely a very nice overall movement here. We do have a bit of a pullback here, but so that is the resistance part of this pullback. Right here, we have this lower trend line right there. And that is our support part. And then just to make things easier to see, let's keep it one color. So we have resistance, we have support, we have the nice upwards move right here. We have the golf hole down here, and looking at another bull pennant pattern. I say that because this one, if you go back through the history of things, and I'm drawing this very crudely, there have been several bull pennants along the way. Each of them have broken out. Now, that does not mean that for sure guaranteed this one is going to continue to break out, but the track record is there. A nice overall uptrend. You got the bull pennant right now. So yeah, can this breakout occur? We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Real quick, want to take a break and personally help you overcome a very common problem that I see out there, and that is the pattern day trading rule, where people want to be a day trader, and I'm defining a day trader as having unlimited day trades every single day. But because of that pattern day trader rule, they're just not able to do it. Well, if you would like to be a day trader, trade a market that moves very, very nicely. In fact, it makes kind of penny stocks and small caps in some senses look like paint drying because it can move and move very quickly. It's open 23 hours a day, 6 days a week. Then check out the link that you've been seeing on the top of the screen and consider using that. It's what I'm doing. So this is not me talking in theory. I put my money where my mouth is, but I also understand if you're a little skeptical. So that's why I say, hey, I am live streaming. So if you want to see what I'm talking about here live, see it play out right before your very eyes, interact with me, ask me questions about it, then definitely check out the live stream as I do that at 11 a.m. Eastern and then go for a few hours every single day. But yeah, check out the link and let me know if you have any questions. Next one here, looking at BBAI and a couple of key levels from an overarching standpoint. So yes, sometimes we'll look at just a single day, but in this one, I think it makes sense to look at multiple days. There we go. As it helps, I think this area of resistance make a little bit more sense in this problem area right here around 735. So I do realize that, yes, the price did temporarily get above 735. That didn't last very long and the price fell back, blow up. But just going through the history and just generally speaking, you can see that whenever the price gotten up around that area, it has struggled. So moving forward, 735, I would say remains that key overarching area of resistance. And then from the support side, sure, the price pulled back, but again, I would say nothing to panic about in the least because, again, from a bigger picture standpoint, you have this overarching trend line. And again, we're looking at a multi-day trend line where I would say, as long as the price stays above that line as time continues to go forward, so I'll extend that out so we can continue to watch it, then everything's still perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, we have this big old kind of triangle pattern that's forming. So yeah, right now it is getting close to potentially breaking to the upside, so we'll see if the bulls can get that job done or not. Next one here, SBET, and this is a very tricky chart to now talk about because there's a lot of perspective that goes into it. I mean, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you're buying right there, maybe you bought the dip right there, or right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 5 minutes. Well, then, yeah, from that standpoint, the chart looks really, really bad because, yes, there is a big pullback today. No doubt about that. With all that said, that's looking at today's action. Think about that word, today, as in one day. When we take a step back and look at multiple days, you can see that overall, the trend is still in the overall upwards direction. And that's where I do want to get this trend line into play here because I think it does a good job of, again, illustrating just the bigger picture standpoint of things. And that is that area right there. Now, again, I would still call this an overall uptrend because it is above the overarching trend line. But I do, again, to reiterate, understand that I sound crazy if you're a day trader that bought right there, and I'm calling this bullish. Again, I'm calling it bullish, but not from the reference point that you're looking at things. I'm talking about it from a bigger picture standpoint. So sure, there was certainly a big old pullback today that occurred, but to be fair, the overarching trend line is still holding. Now, if the price comes down here and just crashes through there, at that point, that really changes the conversation, but that hasn't happened yet, so therefore, in my opinion, at least, you can't sit here and say that the overall trend is all of a sudden bearish or something like that. If the price does try to curl itself back around, key area of initial resistance, I would say, is right around that 23.65 mark. But right now, I don't think breaking levels of resistance is necessarily priority number one. I would say priority number one is making sure that this big pullback move is, stabilizes and stays above that trend line. Next one here, EQ, and we have ourselves a pattern that you've already heard me talk about several times, so I'm going to go through this one quickly. So there's our resistance part of the pattern. There is the support part of the pattern, and then let's just make sure everybody can see it. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have our nice upwards move right here, we have our golf hole down here. So we're looking at another bull pennant pattern. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull pennants, keep an eye on EQ. Next one, NVDA, and I'd say we have a couple of very well-defined levels that a lot of people are watching. So therefore you have those potential self-fulfilling prophecy type angles. But the first one right here, and maybe you already noticed it, that purple line right there, 50 period simple moving average. If you go back here, you can see it acted as support, and then today, I mean, congratulations if anybody noticed that during that opening 30 minutes where it dropped down, hit right there, and then what a bounce. But point here being, got to think a lot of people are watching that. So from a near-term support standpoint, that purple line 50 period moving average is one that a lot of people are watching. From the overarching standpoint, just watch that pink line, which is kind of irrelevant right now given how far the price is away. But that is where even if the price falls below the purple line, not like the chart's destroyed or ruined or anything, because the price still has plenty of wiggle room to stay above that pink line right there. And then in terms of areas of resistance, again, I think a lot of people have noticed this and drawn that line right around that 183.90 mark. You can see that's where the price got rejected from back last week. And then right here, that is once again where the price is struggling. So not saying that 183.90 can ever be broken. I'm just saying it's become very clear that that's currently where the sellers are at. So keep a close eye on that. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and we have another nice bull flag, bull pennant, whatever you want to call it. Talked about it on Friday, and then today got the nice move up through there and has now formed another bull pennant pattern. So I'll go through this quickly, but because you've already heard me say it. But again, when you have one bull pennant after another bull pennant after another bull pennant forming, and assuming you're bullish, that is certainly a good thing, and that is what we have going on here. So sure, the price has pulled back some right here. Let me change that to green. Now I suppose to nitpick a little bit, is this really a bull pennant? Probably not per se, but you also, at some point, you know, it gets in a bit of semantics. So we have that resistance, we have that support, we have the move down. I would call this more of a bull flag pattern, but if you want to call it a bull pennant, you know, I don't think anybody would put up too much of a stink about that. But like I said, at the end of the day, when you have one bull pennant after another bull pennant, or one bull pennant, then a bull flag, and then a bull pennant and a bull flag, like I said, you don't want to get too far down in the rabbit hole of semantics, but it is a good thing because at the end of the day, it is implying that prices are putting in higher highs and higher lows. And assuming you're bullish, that's how uptrends are built, and that's what you want as somebody that is bullish. So overall, great movement today, great start to the week. Got the bull flag heading into Tuesday, so we'll see what happens with it. So that wraps up the top 10 stocks. Again, if you are somebody that is struggling with that pattern day trader rule, or maybe you're looking for a market with a little bit more movement in it, you want to control your risk a little bit better, then definitely check out the link that you've seen at the top of the screen and use code CLAY. It will open your world to something where I have not yet had anybody complain about it. So like I said, but I also understand sometimes this stuff can seem a little too good to be true. So that's why I say I understand. Swing by the live stream, see it right before your very eyes, ask me about it, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. So thanks for watching. As always, if you enjoy, make sure you hit that like button. Take care and have a good one.